What's up, guys? Andrew Fazell, music composer here, with an appeal to the AI engineering community, especially those guys working in music. Now, I can't say that I'm the most technologically progressive person out there. This keyboard here is probably 10 or 20 years older than some of you watching the video. The dirt on this keyboard is, well... And I can't say that the rest of my music studio equipment is much younger than this guy. I was the guy buying the rack-mounted EMU hardware samplers that could hold a rinky-dink orchestra on them, while at the same time the Tascam Giga Studio revolution was underfoot. That was the very first time when large file-size samples of musical instruments could be placed on the hard disk of a PC. The very first time musical samples could be placed on the PC, and from the hard disk they would be loaded into the RAM on demand when you pressed a key on your keyboard. And once those samples were no longer needed and other samples somewhere else on the keyboard were needed, those initial samples would be taken out of the RAM and the new samples would automatically be shuttled into the RAM. And that was crazy. You could have like 12, 16 different musical instruments all being played at the same time with these large samples, and it sounded almost like a real orchestra at that point. I mean, just a few years before that, I was writing music on the keyboard, then saying, oh, that sounds good, and then writing it down on staff paper, the way people had been doing it for hundreds of years. So this early 2000s technology really revolutionized the way composers write music. But of course, all this music technology isn't going to stop there. The other day, I was taking a nap, and when I woke up, I looked on my phone, and there was all this Midnight Cafe, Chat GPT, 11 Labs stuff, and naturally I wanted to play around with it some, so I used the Chat GPT to help me write camping and hiking articles on my camping and hiking website, and I used the 11 Labs AI voice modeling to narrate a book I wrote back in 2015.
A young lass of perhaps 7 to 10 years of age, whose name is quite forgotten, pursed her lips as she eyed her pair of pippin trees, searching for a piece ripe for plucking that would not involve climbing along the trunk, nor upon any nearby object to secure such a prize.
And you may have noticed on my last video with the music I wrote about Yosemite National Park, there are some pictures there that are AI-generated pictures. Now that's all well and good, but it kind of looks like the way the AI music scene is going to go, at least for right now, is somebody texting into a box and then miraculously that comes out music. Play a repetitive figure in the high range of a violin between B flat and F, and it goes and then it plays an arpeggio, and then it goes down a scale that's 90% diatonic, and then it repeats all that. No, that is not what a composer wants. A composer still wants to write the music inside the musical syntax, inside the musical language, in their brain or with their instrument, and interact with that in real time, emotionally or constructively as they write. Cool. So what does a music composer want to see from future AI music technology? Number one, I would like to see a computer be able to read sheet music like in PDF format, or take your sheet music and scan it into your computer and put it in PDF format, and then produce a recording that sounds like actual professional musicians have played that music in a top-rated music studio. Then, based on the recording, the composer or a conductor could tell the computer, oh, section B through C, the violin was too loud, or the tuba was too soft, or the cello was not hitting the notes aggressively enough, or the clarinet was not playing their notes short enough in a certain passage, and then the computer would modify the recording accordingly. Number two, make the compositional process more efficient. When I write a symphony, it takes me 1 year to write the symphony, and half of the time is just me working out ideas on the piano, recording them into my digital audio workstation, and then creating a MIDI file. The other half of the time is me importing that MIDI file into a notation program and then converting all my musical ideas into sheet music, or music that actual musicians can understand when they see it on their music stand. So wouldn't it be nice if the AI could look at my old MIDI files, look at the corresponding music scores that go with those MIDI files that I've already produced, learn my style, and then when I give it a brand new MIDI file, it already knows how to translate that MIDI into notation without me having to micromanage everything. So a process that would take 6 months, maybe it could be shortened down to like 1 month. Number 3. Kind of a combination of the first two, where I input my music into my digital audio workstation, get it all sounding the way I want it to with my music samples, and then hit a button and the AI converts that into a recording that sounds like actual human musicians in a very nice recording studio. I keep talking about recordings that sound like they've been made by real human musicians in top tier music studios. The reason that is it's super expensive to actually get your music recorded by actual top tier musicians in a top tier music studio. I've written 3 symphonies, and that would bankrupt me to actually get all those symphonies recorded. They're all 20 to 28 minutes in length, I believe. Okay, so that is a classical music composer's AI wish list. AI community, please figure this out. I'll eat more healthy. I'll jog around the block more just to stay alive long enough to see this happen. So what do you guys think the AI music revolution should look like in the future? Leave me a comment below, and we'll see you on the next one.